Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing beautifully well. For today's valued viewer request, we've got from Cornbread. Capgia, could you think about recreating March 27th, 1999 shoot down of the F-117A by the Serbians? Let's go and do it. Now this conflict, I really want to study this more, learn more about this, do some more videos about this, but one thing at a time. Let's start with this. It's probably the most famous incident. So at the time, F-117A was relatively new and it was claimed to be unshooter-downable, essentially, because none of the radars at the time could see it. Or so they thought. On 27th of March 1999, during NATO bombing of Yugoslavia, Yugoslav army unit shot down an F-117 stealth aircraft of the USA. Does anyone know if Nighthawks are still flying, by the way? Wouldn't that be an interesting question? They're not.
They're not.
By firing a S-125 Neva Pechora surface-to-air missile, the pilot ejected safely and was rescued by search and rescue forces. The F-117, which entered service with the US Air Force in 1983, was widely seen as one of the most advanced pieces of... Wow, 1983, God. The problem is...
Those things flew for 20-something years.
Yeah, no, I take that back. I thought it was started to enter service in like the mid-90s. It just shows how... It's just times move so quickly. I've got old so quickly. It was widely seen as one of the most advanced pieces of... Because it was used in the Gulf War I, wasn't it? Yugoslav air defences were considered relatively obsolete. Regards the 125, I think that's the SA-3A. So this is an old missile. This isn't a new missile. On the date, the 3rd Battalion of the 250 Air Defence Pistol Brigade of the Army of Yugoslavia, under the command of Lieutenant Colonel Zoltan Darni, downed F-117 Air Force serial number 820806, call sign Vega 31. The Army of Yugoslavia unit was equipped with the Yugoslav version of the Soviet ISAV S-125 Neva missile, reporting name, SA-3. Okay. At about 8:15 p.m. local time, with a range of about 8 miles, several missiles were launched, according to Lieutenant Colonel Dort Anik. So he must have known, and presumably this thing's got an RWR on it, so he must have known he was being shot at. Who was identified in 2009 as the soldier who fired the missiles. They detected the F-117 in a range of about 23 kilometers, operating their equipment for no more than 17 seconds to avoid being locked on by NATO. So he had harms and whatnot from the F-16s. According to Darni, in a 2007 interview, his troops spotted the aircraft on radar when its bomb bay doors opened, raising its radar signature. So that was the problem. I actually heard, I heard a joke that it was about the gear coming down, but obviously it was the bomb bay doors coming down, and all of a sudden, then it's not stealthy anymore. The F-117, call sign Vega 31, was being flown by Lieutenant Colonel Dale Zelko, nice name, born 1st January 1960, an Operation Desert Storm veteran. He observed the two missiles punch through the low cloud cover and head straight for his aircraft. God, you must be pooing yourself. You've got no kinematic power to beat them either. The first passed over him, close enough to cause buffeting. Wow. I wonder why the fuse didn't go off. But did not detonate. The second missile detonated, causing significant damage to the aircraft and causing it to tumble out of control. The explosion was large enough to be seen from a K-135 Stratotanker flying over Bosnia. Zelko was subject to intense G-forces as the aircraft tumbled and had great difficulty in assuming the correct posture for ejecting. After his parachute deployed, he used his naval radio to issue a mayday call and was able to contact KC-135 that had seen him shot down. Zelko used his survival radio while still descending, although this was contrary to his training. He reasoned that the altitude would give his best signal at the best possible range and was also sure that he'd be quickly taken prisoner by the Yugoslav forces on the ground, and wanted to confirm that he was unhurt before this happened. Zelko landed in a field south of Ruma and around a mile south of 4-lane highway. He quickly concealed himself in a drainage ditch that he had identified as a hold-up site while descending. Cool. There, he felt the shockwaves of bombs dropped by NATO B-52 bombers on targets in the outskirts of Belgrade. Zelko landed around a mile from his aircraft's crash site, and an intensive search at the area was carried out by the Yugoslav soldiers, policemen and local villagers. At one point, searchers came within a few hundred meters of the ditch he was hiding in. Zelko was rescued approximately 8 hours later by a US Air Force combat search and rescue team flying Sikorsky MH-53. Well, it'll be good you know what, we're going to have to redo this in DCS and in armour by the sounds of it. Helicopter in the early hours of the next morning. According to Zelko, he would later learn that he had been minutes away from being captured. Wowza. He was initially misidentified in press reports as Captain Ken Wizdweli, was painted on the aircraft's canopy. The lost F-117 carried the name Something Wicked and had previously flown 39 sorties during the Persian Gulf Wars, Operation Desert Storm. Very interesting incident. Anything you want to add, RC, before we go and probably get shot down?
Nothing to add.
Stand by.